To breaking news of a railway strike, just what we need.
Oh yeah,
Leo.
the railway union sure knows how to pick its moment. So railway workers have voted overwhelmingly to strike in a bitter dispute over jobs, pay and conditions, threatening massive disruption to the network in the coming weeks. So they say that this could bring on blackouts, fuel shortages and empty shelves if ministers refuse to back down over the biggest rail strike since privatisation.
Can I just say, Leo, I'm sensing from your tone you're not a fan of strikes.
I'm not a fan of this. I mean, you know the state that the country's in right now. You know, we've got to. I mean, we're Western liberal democracies threatened by Russia on one hand, so we're helping Ukraine. We're also coming out of lockdown, so we've got hyperinflation. Well, it's not hyper yet, but it will be soon.
There's monkeypox.
There's monkeypox. You know,
right around the corner.
There's not a lot of good things happening. Yeah. So you know, you think we're all having to make sacrifices. We're all having to pull together. Instead, the rail workers, and bear in mind, you know, the government gave, ensured there's £16 billion during lockdown to make sure they kept their jobs. And past year numbers are still way down, so, you know, they're not paying for themselves. Everybody's making sacrifices.
They make 50 grand a year.
The average train driver makes 50 grand
but
a year.
We're not just talking about train drivers here, though, are we? We're talking about other members of staff here. And if working conditions are poor, and if there are all these maintenance job cuts that are happening, I mean, don't people have a right to unionise, to work against poor conditions?
Absolutely, but unemployment at the moment is 3.7%. So if you want another job and you think, you know, you could provide more value to another company, there's nothing stopping you walking out and getting that dream job at Amazon or wherever it is. The fact of the matter is, unionised workers quite often, they use it. They hold the country to ransom.
But isn't this an inevitability with the cost of living crisis? People are going to be looking for more money. They need it.
Yeah, and they're going to unions because they have no other choice. This guy who Mr. Lynch,
yes.
who is he's some sort of official with the strikers.
Mick Lynch.
Yes. He
says RMT
chief.
He's
50 grand a year. He says our members are working class people. I don't think 50 grand a year is a working class salary. You really shouldn't say that.
You can definitely turn on Radio 4 if you're earning 50 grand.
You can
listen to Classic FM.
Yeah. And that does put you in the top tax bracket, doesn't it?
It does. They're going to do a tube strike on June 6th, and that's the day I fly to San Francisco. I'm really annoyed about that.
Again,
no one told me.
You always bring it back to you.
It's about me. No
You're
one told me.
the victim here, Scott. You were the victim.
At least the trains are heated. There's that.
Well, they're meant to be.
And Mick Lynch himself gets 84 grand a year. So, they're taking in the union subs. It's basically, a mafia shakedown.
That's quite an extreme reaction.
Yeah,
but,
a little bit.
The
train company, they've done well, though. They've made a lot of profit. They have, and I think he just wants the train companies to share in that. He had £100 million profit, Network Rail, $200 million for the subcontractors. They're doing pretty well. And I think the workers just are saying, where's our...
Well, but this is what happens, isn't it? When the people at the top are earning the most and the people at the bottom aren't, they want more money, and it seems perhaps fair enough. Although
they should have done better
doesn't
in school,
agree.
really.
They should have worked harder at school. Unbelievable comment.